What's up, everyone? Welcome back to On the Roll with Matt, where we talk about disability, recovery, faith, mental health, and learning how to keep moving forward one day at a time. Today, I want to talk about something personal and exciting. I am officially starting my capstone project for my Bachelor of Science in Behavioral Health Science. A capstone course is not just another assignment. It is the culmination of everything you have worked toward in the program. It brings together your knowledge, your research, your passion, and your ability to design something meaningful for the community. For my project, I have to create a full program proposal for a community based behavioral health organization. That means I am not just writing about an idea, I am building the framework for something that could actually serve people. And for me, that means something. My main focus in behavioral health has always been addictions. I worked in the addictions field in Canada, and I built a large part of my career around walking alongside people who were dealing with substance use, recovery, homelessness, trauma, and survival. Addiction is not just something I studied, it is something I have lived through. This September, by the grace of God, I will be 17 years sober. So when I talk about addiction, I am not talking from a distance. I am talking from lived experience, professional experience, and a deep respect for anyone who is still fighting their way toward freedom. But as I have been developing this proposal, something has started to become clearer. My focus is beginning to shift toward creating an online and telehealth based counseling program for people with disabilities. And that is not a random pivot, that is my life. I am part of the disabled community. I live with disability every single day. I understand what it means to face barriers that other people may never have to think about: transportation, accessibility, energy, pain, appointments, finances, insurance, isolation, and the emotional weight of constantly having to advocate for yourself. Sometimes the barrier is not that people do not want help. Sometimes the barrier is that help is not built with them in mind. That is what I want to address. A telehealth counseling program for people with disabilities could help break down some of those barriers. It could create access for people who cannot easily leave their homes, people who do not have reliable transportation, people who are medically fragile, people who are exhausted from navigating systems, and people who simply need support that meets them where they are. And even though my program focus is shifting toward disability, addiction is still part of the conversation because addiction does not discriminate. It does not care if you are able bodied or disabled. It does not care about your background, income, education, diagnosis, pain level, or mobility. Addiction can show up through substances, but it can also show up through process addictions, unhealthy coping patterns, isolation, avoidance, control, and anything we use to numb what we do not want to face. Disabled people are not separate from those struggles. We deal with pain. We deal with grief. We deal with trauma. We deal with loneliness. We deal with frustration. We deal with identity shifts. We deal with the pressure of being strong while also needing help. So, yes, addiction will still show up in this work. Mental health will show up. Trauma will show up. Faith, purpose, dignity, and restoration will show up too. My goal is not just to finish a school project and move on. My goal is to use this capstone as a foundation for something bigger. I plan to start my master's program this fall, and my legitimate aim is for this proposal to become part of my future practice, not just an idea on paper, a real service, a real resource, a real place where people with disabilities can access counseling without having to fight through every barrier just to get in the door. I also want to work with the state and do what I can to accept insurance, including Medicaid, because affordability matters, access matters, and when there are barriers we actually have some control over, then we should be willing to address them. We may not be able to remove every obstacle in the system, but we can start removing the ones within reach. That is part of advocacy. That is part of service. And honestly, that is part of stewardship. For me, this is more than education. This is purpose meeting preparation. It is my addiction recovery, my disability, my faith, my professional background, and my education all coming together into one direction. And that is powerful because sometimes the very thing you thought disqualified you becomes the thing that helps you understand people on a deeper level. Your pain can become insight. Your recovery can become testimony. Your limitations can become strategy. Your lived experience can become a bridge for someone else. So, as I begin this capstone journey, I am excited. I am a little overwhelmed, but I am also grounded in the belief that this is meaningful, rigorous, and absolutely within reach. And maybe that is a word for you too. The thing in front of you may feel big. The vision may feel bigger than your current capacity. But big does not mean impossible. It means you have to build it one step at a time, one assignment at a time, one conversation at a time, one act of obedience at a time. This is the beginning of something that I believe God has been shaping through my whole story. The addiction work, the disability, the recovery, the setbacks, the education, the calling to serve. All of it matters. And I am ready to keep building. This is On the Roll with Matt. Keep rolling forward. Keep fighting for growth. Keep choosing purpose. And remember, your story is not wasted.